Welcome to the Vrakas Blum Computer Consulting monthly webinar series. As always, we'll be recording this and post it to our YouTube channel and our website later this week. Now, my name is Kelly Bergman, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our webinar featuring CIMcloud today. So today we have Trevor and Carrie, both experts at CIMcloud, been there a while, so they know what they're doing, and I'm going to let them take it away, introduce you to what CIMcloud can do for you.
Well, thank you so very much, Kelly. We appreciate the opportunity, and thank you to everyone there at Vrakas Blum. You guys are amazing partners to work with, and we're grateful for the time here today. Again, my name is Carrie, and I am joined today by Trevor, and we are both members of the sales and marketing team. So, among the many hats we wear, one of those is working with prospective customers like yourself to help educate you on what the CIMcloud platform does, and just as importantly, determining if it's a good fit for you. So what our objective is today is in that similar style is to kind of walk you through the CIMcloud platform, but more importantly, how we fit in the market. And in particular, if you're interested in helping grow your business or improve your operational efficiency with customer self-service tools, how we might be able to plug in. So with that, we will kick it off. I will encourage anyone who's out there, if you would like to, please put questions, or if you have particular things you'd like to see, put those in via the chat window in Zoom. And between Trevor and I, we will do our very best to be able to answer your questions. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. CIMcloud. At a high level, let me take one quick step back and talk to the business we are in, which is in short, helping you drive customer loyalty to your end customers. So what does that mean? There's a book out there. It's called The Effortless Experience. I highly recommend it, by the way. It's not published by us or affiliated with us, but it's a great insight. And essentially what it encapsulated was a multi-year long, multi-thousand customer survey across multiple industries to figure out what is the key driver of customer loyalty. Is there one thing that stands out in helping customers attract, keep, and grow their customer base? So they went out, they surveyed their thousands of member customers and their thousands upon thousands of end users in search of that. And the hypothesis was that many of the things you might suspect, do I have availability, good pricing, white glove customer service, all of those things, they probably contribute to it. But is there one that really stands out? And the conclusion they came to across the board was that the single biggest driver of customer loyalty is making the buying process or that customer experience as effortless as possible. So essentially, if you make it super easy for your customers to do business with you, that amongst above everything else drives customer loyalty. And behind that, the number one tactic or tool for making things as effortless as possible was enabling customer self-service tools. So if we think about in our personal lives, right, the big gorilla in the room that's done that time and time again is Amazon. And the one thing above others that Amazon has done so very well is they've made it so easy to buy from them, right? From where I'm sitting up here in my office, if I go down to the car, in that short walk, I can make two purchases, right? And at the end of the year, I actually shudder at the thought of them sending an email summarizing everything I spent with them, because it just highlights how easy they've made it for me to spend my money, right? And so what's happened, obviously, over the years is that in our individual lives, we have come to expect always available anytime as we want it for purchasing. And that same mentality is very much alive and continuing to grow in the B2B space, which is our customers that we deal with on a business level have become so trained for having effortless buying experiences. That's what they not only want, but it's what they expect. So sometimes, if you're lucky, your customers raise their hand and say, hey, here's what we're looking for. What we have found even more frequently is that your customers might just move somewhere where it's easier to do business. So we are in the goal of helping to prevent that. So that's what CIMcloud, that's our driving message. That's what mission, that's what we get up every day trying to do, which is to help customers like you on this call make it easier for you to grow your business by giving your customers self-service tools. So CIMcloud, and there's three big elements to it. We are a B2B first, ERP integrated e-commerce platform. And I'm going to talk to all three of those, but they're really crucial for us when we are working with companies like you, and for you when you are choosing a potential e-commerce platform, to make sure that you're lining up the right kind of solution, right kind of platform to help take your business online and provide these self-service tools. So let me talk about the three things: B2B first, ERP integrated, e-commerce platform. The first is B2B first. So I'm going to tell you a story in a little bit about cars and trucks. But the key thing to know is when you go into e-commerce, just like when you go into business, know thyself, right? So we work with customers who are B2B first, which means they might have websites where they sell direct to consumers, but they are selling a significant portion of their business through some other channel. What are the key indicators? What does it mean to be B2B first? Do you sell directly to other companies, businesses, or organizations? That's a good indication. Do your customers have customer specific pricing? In this case, do you already have that set up in Sage 100? Do they buy on terms? So are you guys using accounts receivable? Do you have to pay invoices? You might have customers who are looking for specific buying experiences. Maybe a certain set of your customers can only buy from this warehouse or these product lines. These are all indications, and there are many more, but these are all indications that you are engaged in a B2B first type of transaction. And that's hugely important because when you pick a platform, an e-commerce platform, you want to make sure that you select one that is designed from the ground up to be B2B first. So the first part, B2B first. The second part is ERP integrated. Now, we say ERP integrated, but what we really mean is that we work with companies, potentially customers like you, who are ERP centric. And that means you are using an ERP system today or are going to start using one to basically be the heartbeat of your organization. So you might be using it for receivables and payables and inventory and quotes and orders. All that information is already in, and it might be an existing Sage system today. Why is that important? Because our platform not only recognizes that, it honors the fact that since you're doing all this today, you need a platform that just integrates in, and you don't have to start rebuilding processes just because you want to get online service tools. So we know that we have many Sage customers with us here today. Sage by customer count is the largest ERP that we integrate with today. We've got 20 plus years working in the Sage space. We are a Sage Tech Partner Plus. You can find one of our offerings, our most streamlined offering, the Sage Customer Portal, is offered on the Sage Marketplace. We have a standard bi-directional sync. What does that mean? When you get started with us and we install our sync, the data starts working. You don't have to start involving custom code to get out of the gate. And we have everything, again, from a simple customer portal to a full e-commerce solution. Now, we actually are live today with 7 other major ERP systems that we integrate with. You guys do a lot of work in the Sage space, and so do we. So when you choose CIMcloud, you're picking a platform that's not only focused on those customers who are B2B first, but that are also using an ERP system today. And again, I'll walk through in my little tale about vehicles how that ties in. But then the third part, and this is the self-service component we talked about at the very beginning with creating customer loyalty. The third part is the e-commerce platform. So I'm going to pause here and just take one step back. Any e-commerce platform you work with is going to have 3 main components, particularly if they're ERP centric. If they're not, then you've gone down a completely different rabbit hole, and we need to talk soon to get you out of it. But the first is your actual ERP system. That's where the data, that's the truth, or the system of truth when it comes to pricing, accounts, inventory, orders, quotes. That's one component. So that might be Sage today. There's a sync tool. So we have a proprietary ERP sync tool that sits in the middle. It handles billions of transactions a year across hundreds upon hundreds of customers, managing tens upon tens of thousands of transactions on a regular basis. And then there's the third element, which is the actual SaaS platform. So your ERP can be in the cloud or installed locally. We work either way. Our sync tool connects with it securely via a proprietary connection that's working natively with the Sage install. And then it goes out to our broader online SaaS platform. And the platform, I'm going to give you some previews of some of the various elements that tie into it, but there's three big components to our platform. The first is what you might think of as traditional e-commerce. And I'm going to show you some of these. So this might be a customer portal where they log in. It could be public web stores. So maybe you want to show your catalog with or without pricing, with or without the ability to purchase. That's all part of what we think of as e-commerce. You might have sites for very large customers where they log in and perhaps even see their own branding so that when they're buying from you, they have a very customized experience. Or maybe it's punch out catalogs. So we have many customers who work with a very large proprietary customer. That customer has an existing purchasing system, and they basically want a secure way to pass that information into our platform and get those orders into your system. For us, that's all part of e-commerce. So we have many ways we do it. It is something we've been doing for the last 20 plus years. So we are always up for the challenge for seeing a new way that we haven't done it, but we've seen a lot. So that's e-commerce. The second part is part of our platform is giving your employees, we call them workers, giving your employees tools so that they can have an effortless experience with the platform as well. So giving them the ability to see their customers and their quotes and the sales pipeline and being able to see if they're customer service reps, for instance, being able to see what the account balances are, or maybe helping them place an order on their behalf, all part of our platform. It also includes the tools so that you can manage the products on the website. You can put content, images, spec sheets, MDF sheets, all of that information can be part of it. We handle that. And then you, as users of the CIMcloud platform, have some very powerful setting tools where you can self-manage, i.e. you don't have to go contract somebody to help you do it. Many of the sites, settings, and configuration options that impact not only what your employees and customers see, but how it's displayed in the entire experience. I'll show you some of these a little bit later, but that's all part of the worker portal. And then the third component is our actual API, our cloud data hub. So we basically eat our own dog food, and then our API tool goes through our sync tool rather, goes through our standard API for processing all these transactions. Why do we do that? With a tool that has literally syncing billions of transactions, we have data healing. We can handle if there's outages in any part of the network. We have the ability to reconcile and make sure that you've always seen the most recent data, whether it's in our platform or as soon as an order comes over, that it's back in the Sage ERP system. So we use that, and if you're looking at larger key customer apps or there's some specific third-party apps, we have, again, standard published APIs so that if you want to write into the system, we have the ability to do it. It's part of what we call our open initiative, which means not only am I picking, in our opinion, one of the best B2B first e-commerce platforms out there, but I'm picking a platform that gives me the option to grow into the future. So that's a mouthful, but that was the third component, and that's our e-commerce platform. So I'm going to pause for a second. I'm about to get into and show you some of the product and talk about some of the types of things that we can do, just to kind of wet your whistle and give you an idea. But before you do that, I want to tell you a story when it comes to selecting e-commerce platforms about cars. And the reality is that when you are looking for an e-commerce platform, just like when you're looking for a vehicle, you have a lot of choices out there. And they're all great choices. But probably the most important thing, whether you're picking a vehicle or you're picking an e-commerce platform, is to make sure you're selecting the right vehicle or the right platform for what you want to do. So in the car analogy, Toyota Camry, #1 selling car in the world, and there's a reason. It's got great leather seats, the air conditioning works like a rock star, and if you have 2.5 children and or pets you need to transport to a soccer game or to date night, it's a beautiful vehicle to do it in. It's reliable, it's great, and there's a reason it's the #1 selling vehicle in the world. I'd pick a Toyota Camry if that's what I wanted to do. If you are after a storm, you need to clear a tree that's on a down power line and move it out of the way, the Toyota Camry is probably not your first choice. And in that instance, you might need a bucket truck. So you need big wheels, you need security, it needs to be grounded, you need a pole that can lift it up so that you can get that particular job done, right? So makes sense, right? If I want to go on date night, Camry's a great choice, but if I got some heavy duty work to do, I might go with the bucket truck. So I'm going to talk about how we get to that, but the same thing is true when we look at e-commerce platforms, particularly if you're picking a platform that's not ERP integrated and or is direct to consumer first versus a B2B native ERP integrated e-commerce platform. I'm going to come back to the trucks, but I'm going to tell you how it gets to the platform. So, regardless of what solutions you might choose or what solution you select for your customer self-service tools or your e-commerce needs, there's always going to be those three components I talked about earlier. There's a platform, there's a sync tool, and then you have your ERP system. And on all three components, regardless of which platform you select, there's three layers. There's the actual core application, the platform, that's what you see in blue. There's customizations, which is what kind of coding or additional work do I have to do to get this to meet my unique business needs? And then on top of that, there's the configurations, the data, the content, so that ultimately your end user's experience reflects what you want it to, your brand, your images, your products, right? So all three of these things exist across all three layers. And when you're selecting a platform, you're essentially choosing who's owning what components of it. So let's talk about if you select a Toyota Camry to go do a bucket truck job, or if you pick a direct-to-consumer platform to go solve B2B first native e-commerce needs. Well, what happens is when you look at the platform, and you might see this, again, great vehicles out there, but the actual core platform, what they do day in and day out with either their core deployment or their standard core modules, tends to be very light. And the way that they tell you will solve it is with an app. Oh, you want to be able to handle multi-warehouse? There's an app for that. You want to be able to handle complex product configurations? There's an app for that, right? You literally will hear there's an app or there's an add-on or there's a bolt-on and there's a customization we can do. What's happening when that occurs is that middle layer, that customization layer, is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And not only is the project getting more expensive because you're adding more tech on top of it, you also need a team to implement that tech. So you still end up with an e-commerce platform, but the actual core platform at the bottom is much smaller compared to all the apps and customizations. And what does that in turn lead to? Well, now you have to sync that data. So an ERP sync can't be standard for all kinds of customizations. So now they have to work those customizations into the sync tool, all of which is just to basically get the data into your platform that you're already using today. You have workflows, you have process, they create success. It's how you built your business. But you have to do all this customization, which is expensive, lengthy, and it introduces risk, right? So when you really need a bucket truck, but you pick a Toyota Camry, what you're getting is you get all the mechanics are coming in, they're bolting stuff on. Oh, you want to get the down line off? Let's bolt the bucket on top. You roll up to it. If you're in South Carolina this week and it's been raining all week, your tires just got stuck in that slippery Carolina clay. I need bigger wheels. Suspension can't handle it. Got to add bigger suspension. Fenders are now bumping on your wheels. Got to take the fenders off. We've seen this time and time again when folks select e-commerce, but they pick a platform that's intended for something else versus if you pick a platform that uniquely reflects your needs, which is it's got to reflect what I'm doing in Sage. I need it to understand that I'm B2B first and handle all those operations. And I want this great customer experience. The difference when you choose a platform like CIMcloud is the platform, what's included standard or in standard modules, it doesn't require customizations by the team. We just turn them on. You can do configurations to set it up the way you want, but that customization layer gets way smaller, which in turn means it's all flowing through the native sync, which means the customization layer, again, way lighter. So at the end of the day, if you go B2B first, the actual platform you're buying is much, much closer to your total solution. You're still going to have to add product descriptions and images and all that information, but the platform you're buying, CIMcloud, is much closer to the ultimate solution you need versus I got a really cool looking platform, but man, they went to town on it in the shop to configure that thing to be able to do what I do today. So I'm going to get into it, but again, you have to decide when you're trying to get that ultimate solution, the platform you pick, it makes a huge difference. Again, Toyota Camry, a great vehicle. But if you have a purpose-built job to do, we're product centric, we sell through a channel, we sell through other businesses, and we're already using a Sage system, in my opinion, and in opinion of a lot of customers we've helped through this process, what you really need is a bucket truck. And in this instance, in our vernacular, we build a darn good bucket truck. So I'm going to show you that bucket truck now, which is the solution designed to work in a way that you, as a product centric or a B2B first company, want to see. So let me give you a preview here. I'm going to do a quick time check. So I probably got about another 10 to 15 minutes. I'm going to give you an idea of some of the things you can expect as part of that bucket truck that we call CIMcloud. And everything you're seeing here today is part of, it's not the entirety, but it's part of our comprehensive suite of, again, native, which means you're not having to go add something on. It's part of the platform, B2B first capabilities. So one reason people come to us is they want a portal where their customers can log in and they can see products, inventory, accounts, make purchases, handle RMAs, and that's what we call the customer portal. Again, one of the ways into our platform. So what we provide our customers is with a branded to you login interface. It could be a simple jump off a website, and when they come in, it's expressed in the picture. It's going on in the background, and it's hugely important. Everything your customers see is reflects their customer specific information when we bring it over from Sage. So it's going to see their pricing. If they're only allowed to purchase a subset of products, they would only see those products. We handle that through something called data rights. If certain individuals at your customer's company should have different rights, maybe I'm in charge of paying the bills, so we're only going to give the user called Carrie rights to be able to pay invoices, but Trevor's actually the guy that gets it done and goes in and place orders. He would have a different customer experience. So it's a customer login, and when they log in, they see their specific pricing, their specific catalog, and they can place orders in a workflow that you can help determine for those end customers. That's one way we provide self-service tools to make it easier for your customers to keep coming back and doing more and more business. We also can provide full public stores. Again, same platform, it's just another window in. So maybe you start with a customer portal, but hey, we want to be able to have products and sell some direct online. We see this a lot even in B2B, where they might sell just their parts online, or there's a subset of their products they sell online and they sell the others through a channel. We can do that. Where we call them a guest user, an anonymous user can come up and see whatever pricing you choose to share out there if you want them to be able to buy direct, including the ability for them to create an account on demand and get whatever that base pricing is that's out there. We have also the ability, if you want to provide just a public catalog. So for SEO purposes, competition purposes, if you were looking to grow your business, you might be interested in showing the products you have available and all that good SEO juice that goes along with them, descriptions and products and all that other information to bring business in. But you might request a login or, hey, request an account to get started today. I actually just had a conversation yesterday with an established B2B customer that has a business. They're looking to grow a new business. And this strategy, and we've seen it play out times and times again, is one way they're looking to do it. We're going to get a bigger footprint. And again, all this is syncing through our platform, all part of what we do today. Once you get into the platform, however they get there, again, native to what we do is we call it the quote workflow. So everything from choosing when a customer logs in, do they have to accept billing addresses? Can they pick different places to ship to? How do they build out their cart? That's all part of the quote workflow process. It could include having favorite lists where customers come back in, select all the products they want, add to cart, and then they can go to the next step. So they could place an order if they're ready to place the order on demand. You could allow them to save their quotes. So they could come in, build quotes. If they had questions, they could internally check with the process, they could actually take that quote and push it over to your sales reps and say, hey, I want a sales rep to review this. I have some questions. Maybe it's on pricing, or do I have the right products included? All the way through to actually putting it in the cart and placing the final order. Those are the types of things that are core when you're a native B2B first company. Maybe you have products that have exploded views. So perhaps you've got, this is one way that we can handle for what some platforms would consider complexity. We just kind of consider part and parcel to being in this business, where they could have an exploded view, go through, pick products, add the products they need, all the products. That's a capability that we handle on a regular basis for our customers. So, including other examples of that might be, and I'll show you this a little bit later, you might be able to build out configured products, which are really a big bill of materials, right? So that's another thing, and I'll kind of show you how we do that as well. Also native, you want to get paid, right? Who doesn't? So when your customers log in, they can see all of their open invoices. And again, remember, we're pulling this all from your ERP. So it's not just the orders they placed online, but it's a total snapshot of their account. We typically start up and go 2 years back. We can go back even further, but it's a full snapshot. And when they log in, they can pay all their invoices, some of their invoices. You can give them the option to pay those invoices in full or in part. That's part of what we do is our native B2B. That's standard. We do that every day. Maybe you have RMAs. You want to be able to handle that process. We have an RMA module that allows them to go through. They can go back off a specific order, create an RMA ticket. You guys can approve the ticket and push it back out to the customer. That's part of the bucket truck that we call CIMcloud. I said in addition to the e-commerce view, there's the view that your customers have. What you're seeing here is a login of our platform from one of your employees. So they have the ability to come in and you could allow reps to see all the accounts, just their accounts, same data rights type approach that we use. So they can get an overview of the customer and the interactions. They can see the customer's statement, the purchases that they've made, any orders and shipments that are outstanding. Your employees, your customer service reps, or your sales folks, or whoever handles that at your organization, they're going to be able to see what your customers see. Again, helping in that process to make it easier for them to do business with you. Um, you know, Things that other folks consider complicated, we've got standard modules to handle. Product configurator, that's part of what we do today. So everything from product families, where you're basically drilling down to get to specific products, that's a simpler view, to a full product configurator. So in this example, perhaps it's a cappuccino machine. There's a couple different base models. Within those base models, you can make selections. Then you can add on accessories to it. You go through the process, and all of that detail is captured, basically building out a bomb. All of that is captured. It's on the sales order. And when it's completed, all of that detail, it's pushed right over into the ERP system. Part of what we do today. And this is a very robust product configuration tool. It's essentially, layman's terms, it's a series of questions and answers. And those questions and answers drive what's next, what comes up, and you have the ability to map that data on the background. We can help with it, certainly, to get you started, but again, a powerful tool that you can use building forward. Another thing that we can handle as part of a native suite when you do B2B all day long, maybe you have multi-shipment orders. So if you have multiple warehouses and on a single order, you want to be able to ship from multiple warehouses, we have the ability to handle that as well. So here's an example. You might have a main warehouse. You've got for wholesale or east. The customer is coming in and you have the ability to select what you share with them. The customer is coming in and just building out the order. What we're doing with the platform is we're then breaking that order out by warehouse with specific shipping options. And depending on the shipping options you provide them, again, configurable by you. So multi-shipment orders, part of our standard. Our whole platform, we have SSO, so they logged in. It's highly secure. There's multiple ways that we can handle that. But essentially, when you pick our platform, you know it's secure. It's obviously got a lot of good information in there that they have the ability to sign in and go through that process. I'm going quick. I'm kind of giving you an idea of a variety of the things we have out there as part of the platform. I mentioned at the beginning, even much more complex things. We won't go in great detail here, but again, if you have customers that have procurement punch out or have a procurement system they use today and you want to support them, we have the ability to handle that. We call it a punch out catalog. So all secure, all behind the scenes, essentially the same end goal. You already have that big customer. they have a way they're doing business. Make it easy for them to keep doing business with you and easier on you so you don't have to rekey the orders, type the orders back in. It flows through our platform and it goes right into Sage. Once you have our platform, we want to make sure that you are successful and you can configure it, use it, and customize it in a way that you can continue to grow with your business. So we have, again, I've mentioned this, a fairly open platform. Our goal is to give you as many self-service tools as possible so that once we get you up and running, you can keep running well into the future. So, everything down to customer site settings. There's a whole settings workspace that touches just about every part of our system where you have the option in what we call no code options. So turning things on or off. I'll show this later. Low code options. So maybe you want to do some customizations on the site to, hey, I've got a designer or I have an expert. And we want to do some really specific stuff. Yes code options. So the ability to use our platform with your team to meet what your end goal is. Our framework, essentially the experiences your customers have. It's a theme framework. So, all of the kind of the examples I've shown here, and there's hundreds more across our multiple customers. Everybody has a unique experience or has the ability to have a unique experience when they're purchasing through you. So we see this a lot, particularly if you have public-facing catalogs, and or if you have a public-facing web store, you want folks to be able to buy. Even down to, how the pages present. Again, giving you flexibility so that when you put that first foot forward, it's the best foot forward for either bringing customers into the fold or even maybe recruiting dealers, distributors, or other folks as part of your network to come into your network. Again, just kind of some of the things we do. We have page builder options. You can go in. If you have no code or very little code experience and your team does and you want to get started, we can help. Many folks get started with a professional to get them rolling, and then they want to be able to maintain or make tweaks going forward. We see that on a regular basis. And for all the code junkies out there, if you want to know, hey, listen, we've got some specific things we want to be able to do. We do support custom code injection, and there's a variety of points. And again, this is all through our framework. So it's accessible by the folks who have the knowledge to be able to go out there and do it, even down to simple, hey, we want our product catalog to have a unique flair that reflects the way we do business, either again to attract new business or to help customers do business. We do what we call them catalog template overrides. The short answer, a lot of ways to configure the system to meet your end goals, including we've got an internal report builder if there's specific information you want to be able to see or to use in the system. And again, we have our general purpose API. I'm getting a little geeky on you here, but all of this is to say is that we provide a framework that supports you and your team, whether it's some of the amazing folks at Vrakas Blum who are getting you live, or if you have a digital agency you're working with or a marketing team that you're working with. We have a platform that brings them in to the CIMcloud ecosystem so that hey, I didn't just get a one-off, but I've got a real platform that I can grow with well into the future. That's a quick overview. I went fast, but those are some of the things that we do, and we do again it's our standard platform. It's one of our standard modules that we can add on to it. Just as importantly, and you've already made a great choice in working with Vrakas Blum. It means you value the partners you work with and going forward. Just as important when you select e-commerce is to make sure you're working with someone that has a proven track record of delivering. If you need a bucket truck, you're product centric, you want B2B first, and it has to integrate beautifully with Sage 100, that you've got experience with someone that knows how to build a beautiful or deliver a beautiful bucket truck. As I mentioned at the top of this, we have been in this space for 20 plus years. We have a playbook. In fact, if you have interest, follow up with the team at Vrakas Blum. We'll share it with you. Whether you work with CIMcloud or anyone, we believe it's crucial that you know what you're doing, how you need to align your team to be successful. We follow, it's called the 3PS framework. We built it over many years and thousands of customers and coming up with a step-by-step. I call it the who's on first. Who has to do what job? What jobs do they have to do? And how do we get from where we are today to success in the future? And when you select a team like CIMcloud, that's one of the many things that we bring to the process. So I told you I was going to be around 30 or 40 minutes, and I think I'm kind of staying true within that time frame. What we'd like to really do is, if you believe you have an interest in this, if you have an interest in making it easier for your customers to do business with you, if you're using Sage today, and if in particular, if you're selling to other businesses, you have a B2B element to your business, we would strongly encourage you to reach out and learn more. So we have lots of no obligation ways we can walk through your specific scenario. In case you weren't getting that feel, we're highly configurable. So one of the key things we do as part of our selling process is our entire sales team has an obligation back to our customer services team to walk you through how we deliver it, what the product's going to do, what exactly is going to be included when you get going, so you don't have any hidden, unexpected surprises when you get into the actual project. We would love and appreciate the opportunity to have the conversation and continue it on with you. And I promise you, if you meet with us one-on-one, it'll be a much more two-way conversation. You won't have to listen to me going at 60 miles an hour. But we are hugely grateful for the opportunity. And would love the ability to continue the conversation, encourage you to reach out to the team. And with that, Kelly, I think we've walked through most of the stuff we had today. I know Kelly would like to get your feedback on a couple things, so I'm going to hand it back over to Kelly. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you, Carrie. Thanks, Trevor. What a great presentation. I really appreciate all of your time today, both of you. And thank you also to everybody that attended. We know your time is valuable, and spending a little bit of it with us is highly appreciated. Thank you all again for coming. Trevor, Carrie, attendees, everybody have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.